Hey, good morning, MWISD families. This is Dr. Kuhn. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, and this is your daily coronavirus update. First of all, let's talk about meals. We served 963 meals yesterday, really times two because we served breakfast and lunch. We serve any child from the age of 0 to the age of 18 years old in the Mineral Wells area. You don't have to be our student. If you go to one of the other surrounding schools, it's fine. We want to serve you lunch if you're between those ages. You can pick those lunches up at Travis Elementary from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you live outside the city limits, we can deliver it to you. Just look for the form on our website under the coronavirus.link, sign up, and they will send a school vehicle to you with your lunches. We're doing this to try and help people during this time. Some folks who maybe are facing some financial hardship, we can get you free lunches. Some people that are still working but aren't home to prepare lunches for their kids who are home, we also want to make that easier on you guys by providing these easy to prepare lunches for your kids at home. If you have any questions about lunches, please email me at coronavirus@mwisd.net and we'll answer your questions for you. A couple of new resources on our website I want to make sure you're aware of. They've been up for a week or so now, maybe longer than that. And kudos to Karen Bullock, who's our communications director, and Angie Myrick, who works in our curriculum department, for putting these things together. And I'm sure there's other people I should be thanking along with them. So if I left your name off there, I apologize. On our home page, MWISD.net, on a phone, there's these red buttons, and there's about 5 of them there. And I think it's on if you get on a computer as well. But the two new ones, one of them says coronavirus and one of them says home learning. I would invite you to go there and click on those and just check them out under the coronavirus link. Ms. Bullock has done a really good job of collecting all the various documents that have been produced during this time. We made a very rapid changeover to a whole brand new way of doing things in Mineral Wells ISD, and schools around the state have done the same thing. But she's done a really good job of trying to capture all of those notices and announcements and forms that have been produced during this time, put them in one place. So whether it's a form to sign up to have your meals delivered, whether it's a form to sign up to request a hotspot, or whether it's the various announcements where we announced that we were extending spring break or closing school, she's put all of those in one place so they're easy to find. Just click on that coronavirus button there on our homepage. The other button, the home learning, is where she and Ms. Myrick and others have collected resources to assist parents in educating their children at home, academic resources, curriculum resources that are there for you to refer to and use. So please check out those two buttons, coronavirus and home learning. Give you a quick update on the hotspots. We have ordered a bunch. I can't tell you exactly the number we've ordered. I know our initial order was 30. I think they put in another order of 30 after that, and I think we still have either done another order or are getting ready to do another order because of some of the donations we've received. I want to thank those donors, local businesses, some local individuals, but then also my staff. I've had several teachers ask to have money deducted out of their paychecks to go towards Chromebooks. I mean, not Chromebooks, hotspots, to ensure that some of our kids who don't have internet access at home can access their curriculum. If you don't have internet access at home, I will tell you there's a lot of electronic delivery of academic materials for you. And remember, you can drive your car to one of our campuses and access school Wi-Fi. Some of the local restaurants and businesses too have free Wi-Fi in their parking lot. So I would invite you, if there's any way you can access internet, there's some good resources that we're putting out there. Quick update on Chromebooks and packets. If you don't have internet access at home, then we are able to and willing to and happy to provide paper packets of academic work for your child to do at home. And that's how, it's kind of low tech, it's kind of old school, but that's what we're doing for those folks that don't have internet access at home so that their children's education can continue forward. If you do have internet access at home, especially from grades 4 through 12 now, that's our main method of providing academic instruction, academic practice to you, is through the Chromebooks that the school has issued to the vast majority of the students at Travis, junior high, and high school. So if you have any questions about Chromebook use, we do have a technology help desk that is operational. It is 940-328-0065. That's the number for parents and students to call if your Chromebook is giving you problems, if one of the applications is giving you problems, if your charger cord quit working, et cetera, et cetera. If you have a question about hotspots, 940-328-0065. It's got 2 different times during the day, and I might get these a little bit wrong, but I think I'm going to be close. 7:30 in the morning to 11:30 if you want to call before you go into work. Hopefully that's early enough, 7:30 to 11:30. And then we have a later shift that I think is from 2:30 to 6:30 p.m. So those folks that work till 5, if they want to call when they get home from work, we wanted that to be open late enough for them to be able to do that. So that's our technology help desk that you can call. Now, teachers, if you're watching this, it's a different number for you to call the technology help desk if you're needing help with any of the new. We are, as educators, learning a whole lot of new programs, a lot of teleconferencing programs that we really have not had to use a whole lot in the past. Normally, we teach face-to-face in the classroom, so this has definitely forced a lot of teachers to learn some new technologies, and that does require support from our technology team. Yesterday, we announced that our closure, not just us, but all the schools in Palo Pinto County, that we are extending our closure without an end date right now, until further notice is the terminology that we used in our announcement. And then I think the newspaper used a different terminology, indefinite, I think is what they used. To me, that means the same thing. It just means it's not for sure when we're going to be coming back. And I know that's frustrating for some folks to hear, but it's honest. I mean, it's true. We don't know when we're going to be back in school. Now, we've already announced 2 different return dates, right? And I personally was kind of tired of just pulling dates out of the air and guessing, because we don't know how severe the virus is going to hit exactly. We hear a lot of predictions and things that really smart people and doctors are saying, but we don't know for sure. So the first date we gave you, we extended spring break by a week. Then we came back and said, well, we're going to go ahead and stay out till April the 6th. And, April 6th is coming up pretty soon, and it looks like the number of cases is growing, not shrinking at this time. So, and we also had, the governor came out at some point during all that and said, we're going to shut schools down until such and such date, which I can't remember what date he said, but then the president came out Sunday and said that we're going to extend social distancing guidelines until, I think, April 30th or so like a month from now. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to go back to school on April the 6th when the president of the United States has said, no, you're not, so so we just extended it out, and in just to be completely honest with our families, said we don't know when we're going back. And people don't do well with uncertainty. That's what I've noticed. I've had a lot of people during this period want me to give them some sort of hard answer when right now those hard answers don't exist. I could just, if you want a number, I could say my prediction is we'll go back to school on such and such date. It would just be a wild guess is what it would be. So we just went with the straight, honest answer of until further notice, we're not in school. We will give you ample notice when it looks like we can go back to school. And I'm sure we're going to start hearing things from people way up higher on the food chain than the local school superintendent, whether it's the governor, whether it's the president, when people start saying, it's safe. It's safe to start gathering in groups. And I can promise you, we want to be back in school. And our preachers want to be back in church. We want our people together. I want my students together. I want my teachers together. We enjoy what we do, and we enjoy being around other people. So this is, I think at first a lot of students probably thought, hey, this is awesome. We get an extra week of spring break. But I know some of the students in my personal life are ready to see their friends again and ready to go to school again. And honestly, I work with people that I consider friends too, and I wouldn't mind going and hanging out with them again. I've got a great family, like being at home with them, but we miss what we do, and this isn't the same. So I get it. Like, I totally get it that people want a hard date to know, hey, when are we going back to school? The honest answer is, I have no idea. And anybody tells you that they do have an idea, they are lying to you. We don't know what this virus is going to do, so we're taking it a day at a time. So we are closed until further notice. I know some people don't like that, and there are people saying, those kids need to be in school. Yes, they do. School is great for kids. It keeps them off the streets. It keeps them safe, and they learn something while they're there, hopefully, if they do their part, right? School is definitely a great place for kids to be, and we can't wait to get back to normal and have those kids at school every day. We can't wait for that. But right now, our job is to keep children safe. And the way we're doing that is by not putting 22 of them in a room and breathing the same air. And I'm glad we're doing that because we want our children to be healthy and safe. And we have been very, very fortunate in Palapinta County up to this point to not have any confirmed cases. That won't last, I don't think, just from watching the cases spread around us and watching the news and learning how contagious this disease is. Eventually, coronavirus is going to come to Mineral Wells. And when it does, the best position we can be in as parents, as teachers, as community leaders, is to have everybody in their homes, have all of our kids in their homes. If you can avoid going out, going to Walmart, if you can avoid it, avoid it. There are people who have to go to work. There are people who have essential jobs that they can't miss. And, you know, I'm glad they're there. I'm glad our medical professionals are going into harm's way. And they all deserve a huge kudos. I would say a hug around the neck, but don't do that right now. We can save that for later. But they all deserve our thanks for being on the front lines of a very dangerous illness and suiting up and going into work every day to save lives and protect us, you know. So I know there are a lot of people who get really, really fired up about their individual liberties and you know, don't get me wrong, I'm glad we live in a free country, but sometimes what I want, my personal liberty, kind of has to take a backseat to what's good for everybody, the corporate good or the greater good. And so right now, you may want to go, you know, hang out on a beach somewhere with 100 of your best friends, but you don't need to do that because that's gonna keep the virus spreading around. And the best thing we can do right now is lower the number of people going to hospitals because they're sick, because our hospitals have limited capacity. We don't have unlimited hospital beds. We don't have unlimited ventilators. We don't have unlimited resources. And so if we can, this virus is a wildfire and it's going to spread. The question is, how big is the fire going to get at any given time? And if we can slow the spread and let it spread slowly so that the number of victims, the number of sick people at any given time is manageable for our health system, then that's what we need to do, right? So we're closed until further notice. The biggest question I'm hearing about that, there are a lot of questions about spring events. We have a lot of important spring events, the Ram Elite Society, our spring plant sale through the ag department, and graduation and prom. One of the really fortunate things about Mineral Wells ISD is, you know, prom's a really big deal in schools around America. But in Mineral Wells, we have this other thing called coronation that is about 1 million times bigger than prom. And we already had that. So if our students miss prom, well, they had a huge formal event, one of the most formal events. I'm not saying prom's not important. It is. But our kids, they got to really put on nice dresses and tuxedos and suits and do that for coronation. So if they miss prom, the great thing is we've got pictures of our kids. I remember my son's a freshman. I took him, got him measured for a tuxedo. I did the whole routine. So I really feel very fortunate to be in Mineral Wells for that reason. If prom doesn't end up happening, but the things I mentioned, I've gotten questions about all of those things. But the biggest one is definitely graduation. Graduation is a once in a lifetime event that students have earned over 13 years from kindergarten through 12th grade. And so we're going to do everything we can to have graduation for these kids. I have folks that have hit me up saying, well, what are y'all going to do? Well, again, this goes back to what I said a minute ago. It's an indefinite situation. We don't know. The question right now, the answer is we're going to have graduation, on May 29th, like we originally said, because as far as I know, we are. As far as I know, we'll be back in school sometime before May 29th. Is it possible that we won't be back in school by May 29th? Is it possible that at that time in May 29th, we'll be under some sort of order that prohibits us from having 7,000 people gather in Ram Stadium to watch kids graduate? Yeah, very possible. Very, very possible. And if that order exists, we're not going to have a graduation on May 29th at Ram Stadium. So that word "if," people struggle with it. I'm really good with it. I've learned a long time ago, you kind of got to go with the flow sometimes, right? So what are we going to do about graduation? The answer right now is we're going to graduate on May 29th unless we can't. Okay, so then the next question is, well, what if we can't? Well, I don't know. We've got a long time to decide how we're going to handle that. What I have said and what I fully intend to do is have a graduation. Now, it may not be till August that we're able to do that. And I understand there may be some of our graduates who, by the time August rolls around, they've moved off to college and won't be able to participate. Maybe we'll put it on a Saturday, so even if they've moved off to college, they can try to get back into town and participate in that graduation. If we can't do that, we might look at some sort of online graduation. Every school, if it comes to that, if we're not able to graduate on May 29th, it means nobody else can either, because if we can, we're going to. If nobody can graduate on May 29th because the virus is so bad, then some other school somewhere with a much smarter superintendent will come up with a great solution, and I'll copy it. That's what we'll do. I saw somebody shared with me yesterday a deal about a parade, that we should have a parade of cars. Maybe, but maybe not too. Like there are going to be other ideas too. So I'm not going to let anybody, put us in a corner right now on March 30th to make a decision that doesn't have to be made until sometime before May 29th. And maybe doesn't have to be made at all, because maybe we'll just have normal graduation. So again, I don't know. And I'm sorry I don't know. I know that frustrates people, but it is what it is, and we're just doing the best we can with this situation. So I don't know what graduation is going to look like, but we're going to do everything we can to put these kids in caps and gowns, have them walk across that stage, grab a diploma, do something silly to the principal, put beads around his neck or give them golf balls or whatever, go sit in their seats, throw their caps in the air, and play pomp and circumstance. We're going to do everything we can to have that experience for these kids, because they deserve it. All right? I'm not making any promises of what it's going to look like, because we're going to do the best we can with what we have at the time. So, long video today, I'm sorry. Let me talk a little bit about what's important. School's important. I mean, I've been doing this since 1997, spent my whole adult career doing education. Super important, good for kids. I stress it with my own personal kids, how important education is. It opens doors for you. I want them to go to school as long as they can go to school before they start working, because once you start working, you never quit, right? But it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the relationships we have with the people that we love. And I want to talk about this disease because, people get upset that this disease is not allowing us to do things we want to do. And some people just can't seem to look past, I want, me. There are, as of yesterday, 164,000 cases of coronavirus in the United States, and 3,173 deaths was the last number I saw. So I understand concerns about the economy. The economy can come back and has come back. We had a recession just a few years ago. We went through the Great Depression. The economy comes back. If you own stocks or your retirement fund is in stocks, it's hurting right now. I would advise you not to even look at it. But it will come back. But dead people don't come back. And, Joe Diffie died yesterday, and we've started hearing names of people dying that we've heard of, that are famous people, right? Well, I'm very concerned that the day is going to come when we start having people locally that fall ill and don't recover, because it's highly contagious and it's highly, highly dangerous. And really not just for older people. Even we see victims that are young people now that are dying of this. It is a very serious respiratory infection, and when your lungs shut down, that's a bad problem. And so I just wanted to go through the dates and just illustrate how quickly this thing's accelerating, so you understand the seriousness of this. So all the things we've talked about, I understand they're frustrating, that we're maybe, graduation's going to be weird, or we're not going to be able to deliver fundraiser items that you paid for, and we're going to have to store those until 2 or 3 months from now and then deliver them. I get that those things are hassles and they're frustrating, and you're not happy about it maybe. But on March 16th in the United States of America, we had 18 people die of coronavirus. 5 days later, March 21st, we had 46 people die. 4 days later, March 25th, we had 247 Americans die. 2 days after that, March 27th, 400 Americans died. And yesterday, March 30th, a three-day leap forward, we had 573 Americans die. This virus is not a joke, and you shouldn't go out. It's deadly, it's highly contagious, and you need to stay home if you can. One of the when you're in leadership, you get criticized. It's part of what leadership is. And if you've got thin skin, you don't need to be a leader because you're going to get criticized, right? So, one of the critiques I saw yesterday on our decision to extend the school closure indefinitely was somebody basically said, I don't know why they're closing schools. There's not even any cases here. And every time I read, and I've read that several times, not just about my decisions, but about decisions made by the governor, decisions made by the president, decisions made by whoever. Why are they restricting this freedom? Why are they taking this away? Why aren't they letting us do that? And every time I read this, I just think, man, there's a Wayne Gretzky quote that I like, and he talks about how the great hockey players, they don't skate to where the puck is, they skate to where it's gonna be. So Palapena County doesn't have any cases. Why are we shutting down school? Why are we shutting down restaurants and bars? Because you can see what's coming. Our leaders in this county, our leaders in this town, our leaders in our school system, they have made a decision up to now to skate where the puck is going to be. Do we need to restrict people's access to one another? Absolutely, because this disease spreads from person to person. Our city manager said yesterday on a video I was watching of him talking to some folks here locally, it spreads from human to human. So the best thing you can do is not mix humans together for a time period to slow the spread of this wildfire. So if you can stay home, stay home. If you can close your business for the next 2 or 3 weeks, close your business for the next 2 or 3 weeks. What the president said the last time I saw him speak was the peak of this illness is sometime in mid-April, I believe is what I saw. I can't remember the date at this time, but it was about 2 or 3 weeks out is going to be the worst of it. And then we'll see it turn, we'll see it start going back down. And we know that because we've already seen it happen in other countries. We've seen the thing go up and then come back down in places like South Korea and things like that. So we are going to turn the corner. The next 2 or 3, 4 weeks is going to be vital here for us to slow the spread of this thing and keep ourselves, healthy and keep the people that we love healthy. So I would ask you, just for the time being, to think less about your individual liberties and things that you want to do, and more about the greater good of our neighbors, of our community, of elderly people and sick people that live among us, people that have compromised immune systems because of autoimmune situations or cancer. I would ask you to put them first and put yourself second, and just kind of hunker down for a little while. Thanks for watching this long video. I apologize for rambling on, but appreciate you listening. If you have any questions or comments, coronavirus@MWISD.net. Have a good day.